Thank you everybody for attending the Aimpoint press conference. We appreciate all of you taking time out of your schedules to be here today. You'll notice right here on the screen we are featuring our Hunter series of sights. This is still targeted towards our upscale hunting market. We're continuing to push this hard each year. We debuted it 2 years ago at SHOT, and we're still promoting that quite heavily, specifically to the hunters that travel to Africa, Alaska, Canada on a regular basis. This year it's been a great 2011, and we contribute a lot of that success to the editorial content you've provided on behalf of Aimpoint. It's going to be a great 2012. You'll hear from Brian and Leonard about the new products we've debuted at SHOT Show and some new partnerships that we've brought together for this year. At the end, I'll talk a little bit more about some of our press kits, how to stay in contact with me for more information on Aimpoint. And right now, I'll turn it over to Brian Lasanke for Aimpoint USA update.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks again for coming out. We know you have a very busy schedule at this show. At the SHOT Show this year, we launched the new micro series of sights. We already had the micro out, but now we have the product offered with a 2-minute of angled dot. And everybody's familiar with our basic red dot reticle, which is a very fast way to get on target. The 2-minute of angled dot will represents a circle at 100 yards of a 2 minutes, 2 inches, as opposed to the 4-minute dot, which appears as a 4-inch circle. We had been hand building a small number of the 2-minute of angle micro sights for a very specific end user within the Department of Defense. There was a very strong interest for this product from the rest of the market, and one of our really smart technicians, engineers, finally figured out a way that we could get this into more mass production. So now we have both the Micro T1 and the Micro H1 with both a 4-minute or a 2-minute of angled dot. So if anybody's interested in trying this product out, please let us know. Also, our big product launch from last year, the patrol rifle optic, has been a tremendous success for Aimpoint within the law enforcement market. The flexibility of the product, its list of features, and also its price point has made it almost irresistible when it comes to LE bids. I don't think that we've lost any law enforcement bids in nearly a year now. We're also opening this product now to the commercial market due to strong interest from that list of end users. And we've also increased production, so there won't be quite as many delays in getting that product into the right hands. We also this year forged an alliance with the Telluric Group to provide training for Aimpoint products into law enforcement and military. Any product is only as good as the skills and the knowledge base of the end users, and we're very big believers in keeping everybody trained. The Telluric Group is based in Brunswick, Georgia, right outside the gates of the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, FLETC. They've got a really nice indoor facility that they can do day and night training on, and it's staffed with a really great group of former Special Forces and Army Rangers that do a really fantastic job. They're going to be providing all of our law enforcement and military training on a contract basis, and if anybody does any kind of tactical coverage here and would be interested in attending one of those courses, please let Christy know. We'd love to have you down. I'm going to hand it off now to Leonard Jungfeld, the president of Aimpoint, and he's going to take you through some of our world news and some other developments.
Thank you, Brian. It's me on the upper part of the picture. If you have a problem following my funny accent, it's because I'm from overseas, Sweden. Sweden is where we have our factory. our two factories. And Aimpoint was started in 1975, so we've been along for quite some time. And I've been the president for 8 years now, and I'll tell you a short and funny story about that. Because my first day at the job, I came into the office of the guy who was running the research and development. And he used to be the president a few years before. And he said, "Young man, welcome. Just so you know, no one has lasted longer than 2 years as a president for this company." And that was his word of welcome to me. So. But he's a good man. He now retired, but he's behind a lot of those great products that we have brought to the shooters. Over the last 2 years, we put a lot of effort into this system, and the system I'm talking about is actually the black optic, as you see on the Carl Gustaf, the infantry support weapon. It's definitely a step in direction of more complex products, because this is not only a sight, it's a fire control system. It comprises a laser rangefinder, an optical tube, and a central data computer. And it makes it very difficult for the operator not to hit the target. You're measuring the distance to the target, you're compensating without any moving parts, and it presents a corrected point of aim with regards to distance, ballistics, temperature, and so on. We have supplied units for the Swedish Defense Forces. They have units in operation as we speak. And this is one example of what it looks like when you're using the weapon system. As an Army officer, I learned very quickly, don't stay behind this weapon. More on the professional side, 2010 was an extraordinary year. Some of you may remember from last year, I told that we supplied site number 1 million to the US Army. And we passed that by far throughout 2011. And of course, if we have sold more than 1 million sites to an army that only has 880,000 soldiers, it's likely not to continue forever. And that is what has happened. On the other hand, we have a lot of new customers, and I'm giving you one example, which is particularly interesting, and that is the Norwegian Army. They started to buy our sites several years ago, but they placed 2 large orders throughout 2011 with us. And the last order was actually incorporating more than 10,000 of the microsites, which is the first country. Norway are good neighbors. They are the first country to embrace the micro as a site for soldiers in volume. In these days, we say that soldiers carry too much weight. And even though the M68, as the US Army has it, the Aimpoint Comp M4, has a very low weight, this sight has about 1/3 of the weight of the M68. But it's interesting, it's good for us that someone for the first time took the step to order the Aimpoint Micro T1 as the site for a large number of soldiers. So we're very happy about that. We're also happy and proud that the US Army during the year chose the Aimpoint Micro as the site for the program called Army Sniper Quickfire Site, which is a backup site for all the snipers in the US Army. The contract was signed, and there are 2 potential suppliers. Aimpoint is one of those 2. We have just passed the first article testing, and we're looking forward to orders from the US Army to equip the snipers with this small site as a backup site. Also exciting during the year, and this came to our awareness in a quite extraordinary way. From a friend brought to our attention the fact that inside the Kruger Park there is something called the Southern African Wildlife College. And I got the opportunity to meet the headmaster of the Southern African Wildlife College when she was visiting Sweden. And I found her idea to be extraordinary. There are several places inside South Africa where you can get the professional hunter's education, and you get some kind of identification card that you pass the exam. But all of these educations are rather short. We're talking about a few weeks of education. And she told me that it's not enough. A lot of these young men and women with the identification card, they need quite a lot of time somewhere getting practice and experience before they are considered to be real professional hunters. And her idea was to put together an education that lasts 2 years, something which gives a much better foundation for anyone who wants to be a professional hunter. And the more she talked, the more I realized that I want to support this, or we want to support this. And that's what we have done. We are equipping them with sites. We are donating money to make this happen. And the first 12 pupils are starting the course in July this year. There are further details on this, and we issued a press release about it, but I'm very proud to be part of this and to get a chance to support something which I think is very good. A professional hunter may end up in a situation like this, or the client may. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to act accordingly. Otherwise, you're risking your life and you're risking the life of your client. Did this elephant get close? Yes, it did. Did it die? Yes, it did. So, thank you very much so far. I'm giving the word back to Christy.
Thank you. Just a few details as far as our press kit. Some of you have a press kit in your seat. Some of you may regret not sitting where a press kit was later. But be sure and grab one on the way out if you don't have it. I try to add new content each year that will be useful to you. It is filled with images, press releases, and we've also added quite a bit of new video this year that has a lot of educational content specifically on our brand, battery life, and each of our sites. So you'll find that on the table. And also just want to make a few comments about working together. We've really seen Aimpoint grow in the past few years, and as I said earlier, we contribute that to the relationship we've built with the editors and the writers. And we just want to continue to see that grow. We want to work together on story ideas for the hunting market, military, and law enforcement. As far as T&E requests, please contact me anytime you want to try a product for testing or for a hunt or just for a photo shoot. I'm more than happy to get you what you need. We hope to have more writers events this year, range days, get everybody out there using the product and getting your feedback on it. And then also contact me anytime you need any information that's not on the press kit, any images, or just have questions about the product itself. Also, before you leave, we will take some questions and answers, but on the table back here, we have some beer badges for our daily beer reception. You can come by today from 4 to 5. For that, we have some hats and more information about our partnership with Talort Group, as well as some catalogs. And then we'll go ahead and take some questions and answers, and then in the meantime, go ahead and check your press kits to see if there's a business card in there. And if there is, then you can come see me after the press conference and go home with a site.
And also on the table you have your copy of the latest and greatest movie about wild boar hunting, which is called Wild Boar Fever 4. And have a look at it, and you can see how much you can do with an Aimpoint red dot sight when you're through with the movie. Enjoy.
So does anyone have any questions?
How many FCS 12 units have you
The FCS 12, as Julian asked for, in this development program, we started off and supplied 2 prototypes very early on. And then we have supplied 20 pre-series sites and 125 series sites will be supplied to the Swedish Army before the summer this year, 2012.
How far down the line is development?
Development is almost finalized. We're in the verification phase, definitely with the system, But parts of the defense forces chose to take the system anyway into theater, and they're overseas in real operation.
Fire control system looked interesting. Of course, thinking about long-range precision shooting from a bullet standpoint, is there any plans or anything like that to compensate for bullet drop and leakage, or is it strictly military applications?
Right now, it's a strictly military application. Can it be used for hunting purposes? Yes, it can. The plan right now, however, is doesn't cover that part. And personally, this is just me personally, but I understand that in some situations you have to shoot long range. But I think my experience is that in most hunting situations you actually shoot at shorter range than you think you will do. And it's also more exciting that you have to go into close range with the animal. That's a part of the excitement of hunting. So, sorry, a long answer. Was it an answer at all? Thank you.
Are the new T1s available right now?
Yes, they are.
They're in stock.
Same price?
Same price.
If you order a large quantity, you have to come afterwards and contact me. But I think Brian has at least 1,000 pieces of shelf, so that should be fine.
Anything else?
What's the fact that the micro T1 and H1, which is the 4-minute one, which is the 2-minute?
Well, actually, the T1 is the one which is compatible with night vision goggles, and the H1 is the one which is more intended for hunters or to be used when you don't have night vision goggles. So that is the difference. But now both of them exist with the 2-minute of angle lot and the 4-minute of angle.
All right, well, thank you again. This last slide, these are just some of the hunts we participated in this year. Some of these you'll see let's see, yeah, on this middle row, that mule deer scored 206 in the Henry Mountains. This guy, Kevin, drew the governor's tag, and he'd been following this deer for over 12 years. And then next to that, you'll see Leonard here, the moose he just shot in Alaska back in October. It scored 71 inches. So we've got some nice trophies. We're everything from turkey to Cape buffalo. So we're not limited to any one type of game or any one type of hunting. All right, well, thank you again. We really appreciate everything you do for Aimpoint. And the editorial coverage has increased significantly the past year. And I just thank you all very much. So help yourself to the items on the table. There's still some cookies outside. And if you have a business card, you can come see me.